right now is called the range of motion warm-up. What we'll be doing is looking at all the different joints that you have in your body, and then the different ranges of motion you can move each joint. In other words, the different directions and movements each joint can do comfortably. So while we're doing these movements, if any of the movements give your joints discomfort, then I'll advise you to either try a little bit smaller or a little bit slower. If that is still uncomfortable, then we'll have you stop the movement and replace it with something that is more comfortable for you. Next, when we're doing the warm-up, we'll keep at an intensity of 0.5 to 2 on that Borg scale. In English, that means a very, very easy or an easy exertional level. You're still able to talk and breathe comfortably during that exertional level. Let's start off with the shoulder joints. Sitting nice and tall with your core muscles engaged, lay your arms down by your side. So your shoulders are one of those joints that you can move in a full circle. So move your shoulders up, back, down, and forward. Up, back, down, and forward. Eventually, when you take out those corners, smooth it out, it becomes a full circle. So I personally like rounding my shoulders back. So when we're rolling our shoulders back, it promotes that nice open posture, opening the chest up, rather than if we roll our shoulders forward, kind of hunches our back. Does not give us that beautiful posture. Good. All right, let's do one more circle. Relax the arms down. So we move the shoulders in a full circle. Now let's move our shoulders forward and back. So let's move one arm at a time up and then back down. Switching to the opposite side. So left arm and right arm. So with this movement, everyone's going to be different in terms of how high you can bring that arm. If you have any shoulder discomfort on the one side, maybe you're not able to move the arm up as high, and that's okay. So you listen to that body, see how high it can comfortably go with each day. Now let's do one more on each side, and then we're going to switch to moving the arms out to the side. So you can lift the whole arm up to the side, or if right away that feels a little bit uncomfortable, the option could be to bend the elbows to 90 degrees and then lifting the elbows up to the side and down. You're still going to be warming up the muscles around the shoulders, therefore bringing a little bit more blood flow, a little bit more lubrication to the shoulder joint itself. We're still breathing when we're doing these movements. Sometimes when we're focused and concentrating, we might forget about breathing. So that's our little reminder there. Good, let's repeat one more on each side. And then letting the arms down. Moving on to our next joint, let's look at the elbows. So our elbows are ones that we can bend up and down. So start by facing the palms forward, bending the elbows to bring it up and then back down. Then come up nice and slow and down. So with each movement, you'll notice we're moving about 10 to 15 repetitions, or until I'm done talking when you're watching the video, but usually about 10 to 15 starts to bring a little bit more blood flow comfortably to those joints, but also without overexerting the muscle itself. Good, so I'm just gonna add on a little bit more here. Let's bring the arms up, close your fist, and then back down. Up and close, and back down. So if that feels comfortable, we're gonna keep that addition of warming up the joints of our fingers and our hands. When you squeeze close and then open the hands wide. Good, we'll do one more just like that. And if you like, we're gonna come up, keep the palms open this time, rotate, and palms down. Rotate, and then come up. So a little bit more movement in the wrist. See how that feels. Hopefully it feels comfortable. Let's do two more here. And last one. All right, moving on, another joint in our body is your upper back, your shoulder blades. So let's start by bringing both arms forward ahead of you at chest height, relaxing the shoulders down, and then pulling back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then come forward. Pull back and forward. So there is always the option to do this one arm at a time. So you can squeeze and come forward, pull back and squeeze and come forward, or you can let one arm down and just do the one arm at a time. Good. Pull back and squeeze. You'll start to feel the muscles around the shoulder blades, but a little bit more blood flow to all the muscles of the back. So our program is an osteoporotic family-friendly program. So what I mean by that is we're back friendly. So whether you have osteoporosis or not, we like to keep the back safe. So this is a really nice way of warming up the muscles of the back without having to curve the back or put it in positions that might make the back or the spine more vulnerable. Okay, let's do one last one and then relax. So as you're relaxing, place the hands down by your side, rotating in circles, and then other direction. And relax. Together, let's warm up the muscles of the lower body in the standing position. So if you choose to do these movements in standing, we'll have you be next to a sturdy chair, a sturdy countertop, or a wall that you can hold on to and help keep you balanced and safe. So the joints that we're going to focus on first is your ankles. So the ankles, you can move around in a full circle. So let's shift all your body weight over to the right side, onto your left toes, and rotating around in a circle. So the leg that you're standing on, make sure that it has a gentle bend in that knee to keep it safe. Let's pause that left leg and then rotating to the opposite direction. Good. You might start to feel a little bit more blood flow to the muscles around that ankle. Let's pause, switching to the other side. So onto the right toes, rotating a full circle the first direction. And then pausing to try the opposite direction. We're going to start to think ahead. Aside from full circles, your ankles can also move up and down. Let's bring that both feet to the floor and then that left leg more ahead of you. So lifting the toes up towards you, like you're tapping your toes. So as you're tapping the toes, you might start to feel a new set of muscles kicking in. You might start to feel the muscles at the front of your lower leg, your shins, starting to work a little bit harder. Okay, let's pause and switch to the opposite side. So right toes forward. So these muscles are very important to warm up, but also to strengthen in time. They help us to prevent falls. When these muscles are not strong, and when we're walking, we're not lifting our toes up, we might be shuffling. And that increases our chances of falling and tripping. So when these muscles are strong, we walk with lifting our toes. That helps us to keep safer overall when we walk. Good, bring the feet back. So another way we can bring our ankles up and down is by lifting the heel up and down. So as you're doing this, let's try making it more active. By that I mean, when we lift the heel up, press into the ball of the foot. So as you press into the ball of the foot, you might notice the muscles of your lower leg working a little bit more in the back, your calves. So just notice if that's happening. Either way, you're still going to get more blood flow, more warmth to the muscles around the ankle. Do one more on each side. And now we're focused on the joint of the hips, the hip joint. So your hips can move forward to the side and to the back. So let's start by tapping the toes forward, getting the muscles in the front of the hip a little bit warmer. To start, might be smaller taps forward, and then maybe making it a little bit bigger as the hips get warmer. In this movement, it's important that you keep your upper body very still. We're not arching the back, we're not reaching our body forward as we're tapping the toes. We do not want to see that. Still having that posture to protect your back when you tap the toes forward. Let's do one more on each side in this forward movement, and then warming up the muscles of the side of the hip. So starting with your left leg up to the side, and then back to the center. So the key here is not to have to look like me. Everyone's going to look different in terms of how far out to the side they can bring their toes or their hips. The key thing is to feel comfortable, to feel safe as we're warming up your body. Good. You might start to notice the muscles in the side of the hip starting to work, starting to get a little bit warmer, a little bit more blood flow. Let's do one more on each side, and then moving the hips to the back. So tapping the toes back behind you. Everyone's gonna be different how far you can tap the toes back. I'll have you stay facing forward. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see I'm bringing my leg straight back. So to make this a little bit more active, I'm going to get you to use your imagination with me. So imagine I have right here a crisp new $1,000 bill, but you have no pockets in your workout clothing. So I'm gonna get you to take this invisible $1,000 bill and place it right between your bum cheek for me. I know it sounds silly, but I'll just have you try it. So each time now, you don't wanna lose that $1,000 bill. As you bring your legs straight back, I'll have you think about squeezing the bum cheeks tightened together, like you wanna hold on to that $1,000 bill. So with that, you might start to feel a little bit more work done, a little bit more activation in the hips or in the back of the body, in your bum muscles. That's a really good thing to get warmed up. Good, let's do one more on each side. And then face forward. I'll have you decide where you want to keep that $1,000 bill, but if you want to keep it squeezed between your bum cheeks, it's going to help with your posture. Next, we'll warm up the knee joint. So the knees can move forward and back. We'll start by a gentle movement. So slowly bring the knees up. You have to lift your thigh a little bit with this one. So make sure you feel comfortable. You're holding on to something so you feel balanced. And then with a few of these movements, you might feel a little bit more ready to lift the knees up a little bit higher. Good, so the core muscles are really going to help us with the balance here as well. Good. Let's try two more together. And last one. So another way we can bend our knees is by, I'm going to turn again, tapping back behind us. Okay, so we did this earlier, and if it felt comfortable, I'll have you stay here. But if you like to join me, we're going to try making the movement for the knee a little bit bigger. I bring the heel up towards your bum. So the key word is up towards. It does not have to touch. You're not judged by how high you can bring your heel. Everyone's going to be different. But either way, when you lift the heel off the ground and up, you will feel the muscles at the back of your thigh, your hamstrings, starting to be more active, starting to work and warm up. Good, let's do one more on each side. So next, we're going to combine a few of these movements together. So as a big important piece of a warm-up, not only to warm up the joints and the muscles, it's also to get your heart rate up and your breathing rate up. So when we combine the upper and the lower body together, you're going to start to feel that effect. So you can tap the heels as you swing your arms forward and back, like you're walking towards a place. If it's more comfortable, you can start to lift the heels, marching in place as you swing the arms. Like we're walking with purpose towards our workout class. Okay, let's do one more, and then standing tall to transition, tapping your left heel forward and then the right. Okay, so either staying here, holding onto the chair, or if you would like to add, you can add the arms. So we'll bring opposite arm to the leg. And I chose opposite arm and leg on purpose. A little bit of brain gym to work on the coordination. Brain is a muscle too that we'd like to warm up. Good. But in case you're having a little bit of fun here and you're not getting the same arm, the opposite arm to the leg, and you're doing the same arm, same leg, that's all right. As long as you're moving, we are happy with that. Good. Do one more on each side. And let's try that tap back behind you one more time. So we have the option of tapping back, or if you feel comfortable and balanced, maybe bring the heel up towards your buttocks. Good. So here, if you would like to make it a little bit more active, maybe we try bending the elbows as you bring the knee up. Good, so still going nice and slow and easy. In the warm-up, we're aiming to go at that very, very easy to easy exertional level where you're still able to talk and breathe comfortably, and just getting the body ready. Good, let's do one more on each side. And back down. Last, let's do one more movement. Your legs out to the side, so right leg tap, and middle, tap, middle, tap, middle. Good. So if you would like to add the upper body to make it a little bit more active, let's start by bending the elbows, and then lifting the elbow out to the side as you bring the leg out to the side. Good. So slow and comfortable at your pace of choosing. So hopefully now that we've combined a few of the movements, we've done all the variety of joints that we have in our body, you start to feel that you're getting a warmer, maybe sweating a little bit, maybe you're breathing a little bit deeper, your heart rate's coming up, you're feeling warm and ready to go. So now we can move on to the next component of exercise, either cardio or strength training.